Okay. All right. Thank you.
Talk to you.
Okay. Who's here on Vanessa Faye Rubio? Are you ready? And counsel, have you conferred with the state on the underlying case? Yes.
Yes, Judge.
All right. What's happening? Vanessa Rubio, if you come down, please. Who's the prosecutor on Rubio? It's Criminal Trial Division. So what is happening? I see, does she have the possession with intent 4,200 grams as well?
Judge, I'll be 100% honest. I don't know.
All right, if you could look up to see if she has anything pending other than the theft case, then we'll take it up. All right, so once they look it up, they'll be able to tell me every case. So just give us a moment.
Thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. It's always great seeing you.
Appreciate that, Your Honor.
Although I'm used to seeing you on Zoom with your Oscar or your Emmy behind you.
Yes, very good memory.
Yeah. So how was your weekend?
It was good, Your Honor. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Hope the same is true with you and everyone else in the courtroom.
Oh, no, the weekend was great. I didn't do what Vashawn did, which was go see Meg too. Like, that's on you. She should have saw that one. That's all on you.
Judge, there are two cases, one burglary of a building, and the other one's possession, PD 1, 4,200. Both are awaiting indictment.
Okay. And possession, and that's 4,200?
Yes.
All right, so the other thing the court has is there's an affidavit to surrender surety on the case that's indicted. Counsel, were you made aware of that?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so that was granted on July 19th. So she has a warrant out for this case.
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Right. And then there's also a motion to reinstate bond on this case.
I was made aware of that this morning. Ms. Rubio informed me that discussions with the surety company resulted in the surety wishing to approach the court to reinstate the bond.
All right, these other cases, the burglary of the building and possession, what are the offense dates on those?
Here, let me check that. I know that they were relatively.
Okay.
Yes, that would have been back in this June.
Okay. And then the theft case, let me see what's on the indictment. That's June 3rd. And so you're saying these cases,
So Judge, the theft case, this happened back in June of 22.
Mhm.
The new case has happened in June of this year.
all right. I state if you have no objection to me reinstating her bond, I will reinstate her bond, but I'm going to add other conditions.
No objection to the state judge.
All right, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2023 CR 4281A, State of Texas versus Vanessa Faye Rubio. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
defense?
Your Honor, good morning. Frankie Sandoval on behalf of Ms. Rubio.
And are you Miss Rubio?
Yes.
On this case, there was an affidavit to surrender surety, and the court granted that on July 19th, it looks like. And now the bondsman has just filed a motion to reinstate the bond. Any objections from the state to reinstate the bond?
No, Judge.
Ms. Rubio, I have to ask you some questions if I'm going to reinstate this bond. The questions I ask you will not be about the underlying facts of the case, but I do need to ask you other questions. So could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand. I'm going to need you to speak up so the court reporter can hear. State your name for the record.
Vanessa Faye Rubio.
All right. Ms. Rubio,
Ma'am.
have you had any mental health treatment before? Any diagnoses of mental health? Drug use? Oh, if I drug test you right now, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
Okay. All right, we'll do a drug test and then we'll come back. And the reason why I'm doing that, because the law has changed. If I'm going to be setting bonds, I need to make sure that there are conditions in place so that you won't reoffend. For example, if you have a drug issue and I know about it and I don't do anything about it, that comes back on me for not addressing that issue. So counsel, we'll do a UA today. And if there are no issues with the UA, then I won't add conditions of treatment.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. So before we do that, you're saying it's going to be negative. All right. Could you UA? They'll give you a UA today. And then Mr. Sandoval will take that up.
Thank you, Judge.
Hi, it's always great seeing you.
Nice to see you, Judge. I'm like, I'm getting nowhere.
All right, what is happening with Vanessa Rubio? All right, thank you. Sure.
In the meantime, since Ms. Rubio has taken the drug test, we've reached an agreement with the state to take care of all matters.
Okay,
That being said, it's going to be a silent offer with
Okay.
respect to deferred. So the bond issue that was before the court is still fresh.
all right, we'll take it up. And what were the results of the DNA test?
Your Honor, I think she's who she says she is. With respect to the drug test, I'll find out.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Drug test came back positive for methamphetamines and amphetamines.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. And it's, I know the court was talking about DNA earlier.
Okay, no problem. Yes, okay, sure. All right, sure. All right. Rubio, Vanessa Rubio. And Mr. Sandoval, thank you so much for your patience. Court is calling 2023 CR 4281A, State of Texas versus Vanessa Rubio. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
For the state.
Defense,
Your Honor, good morning. Frankie Sandoval on behalf of Ms. Rubio.
are you Ms. Rubio? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Rubio, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, I did.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, it appears that the state is proceeding on the indictment as presented. Is that correct?
It's my understanding, Judge.
State, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Rubio, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft of a firearm? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
In my opinion, she does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Rubio, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. State is not making any recommendations on your application for deferred. Is she applying for deferred?
And Your Honor, for clarification, after discussion with Ms. Rubio, we would respectfully request that we go forward on a regular community supervision. Your Honor, she does not wish to apply for deferred, and in the interest of justice, pending any TAP evaluations that the court sees, deems them fit, I would ask for sentencing today, Your Honor.
All right. So the state recommends community supervision. They're taking consideration night mag number 716819, grand jury number 785613, JN number 2097716. There's to be restitution to Kyle Barney, KYLEBORNE. And you ought to agree that this crime was committed as a party with William Gordon and Nicholas Sarabia. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state and defense, if you'll initial where the defendant has decided to proceed for regular probation. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled a waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
There have not been, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all of its attachments.
No objection, Judge.
Showing you what's entitled waivering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Off the record, Norma, we'll need the interpreter back. Back on the record. Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
All right. And states, you may be excused to continue to confer. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
In the interest of justice, that would be our request, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I stand here with Ms. Rubio. As the court is aware, we had a minor issue with respect to her bond. In order for judicial efficiency and to get on with her life and begin the process of putting this behind her, she sought my direction at attempting to resolve all matters. And that's what she wanted to do today, is to accept responsibility, come forward and start the process of putting this behind her with whatever conditions the court deems appropriate, given the totality of the circumstances and the information the court learned today.
All right. Are you employed?
No.
How do you support yourself?
Currently I am not, since I went to jail for this, I lost my job, so I'm still looking for another one.
So when's the last time you were employed?
The the beginning of June. Well, the middle of June, I guess. Maybe about the middle of June.
Do you have any children?
Yes, 2.
What are their ages?
She just turned 12 and 14.
Who do they live with?
They reside with both me and their dad.
Who is the father?
William Bloodworth is one of them.
I'm sorry, who?
William Bloodworth. He is the father of my daughter.
Mhm.
And my son's father is not involved. He takes that place of that.
So you're saying you're living with William Bloodworth? Yeah, but in this, it says that Nick Sarabia is your boyfriend. That's what it says in the police report.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's not okay. That's what it says in the police report.
And
So
he
who is
was-
this other person?
That is my kid's, sorry, that is my kid's father.
No, you didn't mention Nick Sarabia as being the father
No,
of
he's
any.
not the father of my kids.
No, excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Can you tell me what she just said in regards to Nick Sarabia?
I didn't say anything. on this.
Asked her, do you have any children? Yes, 2. What are their ages? She's 12 and 14. We asked who do they live with? Her response is they reside both with me and their dad. Who is their father? William Bloodworth. William Bloodworth is his father, is the father of my daughter, and my son's father is not involved. He takes that place. You want me to keep reading?
Yes, please.
Yeah, but in this, it says that Nick Sarabia is your boyfriend. That's what it says in the police report. She said, okay, no, it's not okay. That is what it says in the, that's what it says in the police report. And she says, that is my kid's, sorry, my kid's father, no, and then I have cross thoughts.
Oh.
You didn't mention that Nick Sarabia is being their father.
All right, thank you. So you said that Nick Sarabia was the children's father, but you just told me that,
I'm sorry, he is not the children's father. He was the boyfriend at the time. He is locked up right now. We have not spoken.
Mhm. And then why were you dishonest with me about your drug test?
I'm sorry. That was 7 days ago. I didn't think that it was me.
No. That should not be in your system from 7 days ago. When's the last time you used and what are you using on a regular basis?
7 days ago.
What are you using?
There was meth on 7 days ago.
No, listen to my question. What drugs are you using?
Meth.
How often are you using meth?
Last time I did it was 7 days ago. 7 days.
And what else are you using?
Nothing else.
And what is the father, Mr. Bloodworth, what is he using?
Nothing. Oh, your brother? Nothing.
I find that people,
We don't live together. We both share custody of my kids. They live with me and then they live with their dad.
okay,
We
she's,
do a joint custody.
time out. You're being very dishonest and slippery with me because I asked you, my mind is a steel trap, but I wanted the court reporter to read back because maybe my mind is failing, but I highly doubt that. You told me that your children were living with you and their father, and you said the other father he's not a part of anything. Now you're telling me, oh no, he doesn't live with me. It's on and off. You've been dishonest with me from the very beginning. You were dishonest when I asked you if you're going to be positive. You were dishonest about that. Then you were dishonest about Bloodworth. I don't even know if this is this person's real name or not. Then you were dishonest about Sarabia. At first, and later you said he was the father of your children. Now he's not the father of your children. You're just being dishonest all across the board with the court, and I don't appreciate it. And dishonesty has nothing to do with nerves. You heard my questions. My questions were very specific.
Yes.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to recall the warrant. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors? Is CPS involved in your life?
No,
Well, I mean, why are you saying no? Like they should be. You're using meth and you're taking care of children. CPS should be involved in your life. So I'm going to want CPS compliance. If CPS is involved in her life, I don't know if they are or not. She's been dishonest with the court. I'm going to want the UA hotline until further notice. Intensive parenting classes. I'm going to want field visits, random, one time per month until further notice. Please check on the children. There's to be no contact with the person who she's saying may or may not be the child's father. There's to be no contact with Nicholas, Anthony, Sarabia. And that means if he's at the Bexar County Jail and he calls you and you'll know it's coming from the jail because they're going to ask you if you'll accept the collect call, you need to hang up because otherwise I'm going to count that as contact. And it's easy to see if that's happening because they keep a record of every phone call from the jail. Do you understand? There's to be no contact with William Clark Gordon. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Taking consideration NIMAC number 716819. And Brittany, if you could do the rejection for me on that case. All right. All right. It's NIMAC number 716819. Grand jury number 785613, JN number 2097716. 200 hours of community service restitution. Those will not be waived. TAP evaluation. And once the TAP evaluation is complete, she's going to start with intensive outpatient treatment. And the court is noting for the record that she's agreed she was acting as a party. With William Gordon and Nicholas Sarabia. Probation, is there anything else she needs?
no, Your Honor.
Oh, and I'm sorry, there's to be restitution, if any, to Kyle Burney, KYLEBORNE. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? I'm sorry?
I don't think so. I think everything sounds like it's gonna help.
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Your children are depending on you to raise them, and they cannot be raised by you if you are using drugs. And the people that you bring into your children's life should be people who are not using drugs. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. Leah McFarland.
Oh, there we are. We're ready, Judge.
Court is calling 2021 CR 11553, State of Texas versus Leila McFarland. Now parties announced for the record for the state.
Jason Gearhead, Your Honor.
Defense.
Richard Garcia for the defense. Ready, Judge?
Are you Leila McFarland?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, Your Honor.
Are you the same Leah Beth McFarland who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 11553 for the offense of assault peace officer judge on February 23rd, 2022 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 41, on or about the 18th day of July 2023, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Leah Beth McFarland did not there failed to comply with the rules, regulations, or instructions of the Bear County Community Supervision and Corrections Department's duly diagnosed residential facility, and that the defendant was unsuccessfully discharged in violation of condition number 41.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 41, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition 41?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 41 true. Is there a proposed resolution?
Yes, there is, Your Honor. And that is to adjudicate guilt or revoke the individual's community supervision, censored in 2 years of the Texas Department of Corrections.
All right, probation. How was she doing other than not completing this? All right. So is there a reason you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. State your name for the record.
Leah McFarland.
All right. So what happened?
I got on to probation and I paid a fine. I did my proof of address. I showed up for visits, but what I didn't get done was the mental or the CTA. It's some kind of drug and alcohol maybe, and then there was a mental health exam, but I got those both in jail the last time I was incarcerated.
So why are you not following the rules with mental health?
Oh, I went to DDRF and I don't know, they said that I panicked a lot and they said that I was talking when I shouldn't have, and I just got a bunch of write-ups that
All right.
I'm not.
Just one moment. Probation. Any objection to the court reviewing the
No,
documentation for probation?
No, you're right.
No, that you're making it seem like these were light infractions. These were not light infractions on your part.
I'm sorry. I was trying.
No, I mean, when you call somebody an F and B, that's not a light infraction. All right. Anything, counsel? Any questions?
No, Your Honor, we're just asking that you follow the agreement with the state.
All right. The court is going to find violation of condition number 41 true. Court is going to grant the motion. Court is going to sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled trial court certification. You can go around, Richard. I'm going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand? You have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you're on deferred adjudication. Do you understand?
Sort of. Can
All
you
right.
explain it more?
Sure.
Okay.
So you can file a notice of appeal or have your attorney file a notice of appeal. That notice appeal is not for the fact that you are on deferred adjudication. Do you understand?
Yes.
But the notice of appeal can be based upon the allegations that were in the motion. Do you understand? I'll let your attorney explain it
I'll
to you.
explain it to you.
All right, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
We can go off the record. You cannot use your mental illness to be mean to people. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Who's here? You're welcome. Who's here on Jose probation? This is no application. And just one moment. All right, before we go on the record, this is a possession less than a gram case. Were you pregnant during this time?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm not inclined to do a no application on her. Obviously, she has a drug problem and she's pregnant.
She is pregnant, Your Honor. She is telling me that she has been clean since this arrest in December of
Mhm.
2022. And then she came pregnant and she's right now, she's 3.5 months along. So she's telling me she has been clean.
All right. Do you live in Bear County?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to do no application on her. If you all want to apply for probation, I'll give her probation, but I'm not doing no application.
Okay, Judge. We have to finish.
All right, Ashley Caballero. Court is calling 2023 CR 1351, State of Texas versus Ashley Caballero. And probation, this is an application. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
defense?
Angela Blick.
And are you Miss Caballero?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Caballero, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone, just give me 2 minutes. Just remain right here. Here you go. All right, I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, sir.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled court admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? You're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years at the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if any time your deferred adjudication were revoked, The court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Caballero, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you? Thank you. And to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Okay, I'm gonna need you to speak
ma'am.
up. Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea. All right, counsels, could you all approach for a moment? All right, we're going to go back on the record. So I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, the state is recommending deferred adjudication and a $500 fine. Of course, the court will hear argument on the fine, but usually the court probates the fine. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes,
Wait
ma'am.
till I finish.
Oh.
And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. I submit State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and state you may be excused to continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Caballero, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We just request the court waive the or probate the entire fine.
All right, the court will probate the fine. Ms. Caballero, how many children do you have?
I have 7.
7? Everyone, please whisper. And what are their ages?
I have 18, 17, 16, 11, 10, 9, and a 7.
Wait, 11, 10.
9,
9.
and 7.
All right, and now you have a baby on the way?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're 18, 17, 16, 11, 10, 9, and 7. Where are they?
My 3 oldest are with their dad. My 10-year-old and my 9-year-old are adopted by my cousin. My 11-year-old and my 7-year-old are adopted by my brother.
So because you're saying adopted, I'm assuming there was a CPS case? And what happened with the CPS case?
I voluntarily signed over my rights.
All right, what were they asking you to do that you did not do?
I didn't comply with my house service. I needed 1 room to be completed and it wasn't completed on time. So
Child Protective Services does not have you signing away your rights because of place.
I was doing everything I was supposed to. It's just, my house wasn't completed to get my kids back on time. So it was either the state took them or they they voluntarily signed
No.
up for my rights.
Child Protective Services, that's not the way it works. The way Child Protective Services works. And I would tell you, I think your attorney may have handled child protectors. You have not?
Not much.
All right, I've handled plenty of Child Protective Services cases. And what you're telling me, that's not the way it works. You know how it works? They give you a year to get your life together, to try to get your children back. And what ends up happening is you have a babysitter for free for a year. And what they want you to do is not use drugs. They want you sober. They want you to have a place for your children. They want you to be able to financially support your children. Now, if your housing is not ready, because they help you get housing.
Yes, it was just that's what it was, the placement, my housing. It was just, they said that one of the rooms wasn't completely finished because I had to rebuild my rooms.
No, let me just tell you, what you're telling me now is not true. And let me tell you why I say it's not true. Now, that may be a part of it, but that's not the whole reason, because I just told you, Child Protective Services, if you need housing for your children, guess what? They will help you get housing for your children. If there's a problem with the house where you're staying at, where maybe it's not up to code, guess what? Child Protective Services will help you get your house up to code. They do all of that. But if your house is not up to code, if you're moving a man in that you're not supposed to be moving in, and if you're still doing drugs, no, Child Protective Services is not giving your child back. And they will give you a year to get your act together. And if you have your act together within that year, but you still need a little thing, like, for example, you're telling me you need your housing, they will extend it. So the fact that all these children you have, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you don't have any of them in your custody and all of them were adopted out, that tells me not only did you not do anything within a year, and the fact that they didn't extend you, because it doesn't sound like they extended you, that means that you were not doing anything. And now you're about to have another child. Are you employed?
No,
When's the last time you had employment?
5 years ago,
I'm sorry,
5 years ago.
5 years ago. And is the father of this child the same father of your other children?
No, ma'am.
Who's the father of the 18-year-old?
His dad, Christopher
Christopher?
Solis.
So Christopher is the father of 18, 17, and 16-year-old. Who's the father of the 11-year-old?
Daniel Delaveris,
Who's the father of the 10 and 9-year-old?
the same,
And the 7-year-old?
same.
And this child?
No, not this
So how often are you using meth?
one. Well, I was using it often when they took away my kids, but when I signed them over.
See, now this is where the dishonesty come in. I asked you, why were your rights taken away from you? And what did you tell me? Housing. And I even told you, I've done CPS cases and they don't just take it away for housing. Now you come back with, I was using when they took my children away and I signed.
After I got my kids taken from me.
Yeah.
That's when I
So,
started using meth.
How many times were you using meth?
After they took my kids, I was using it an everyday thing.
All right. And how many times were you using it before CPS even got involved in
I
your life?
wasn't using nothing
Oh, so why did CPS get involved in your life?
because my daughter had an accident.
Which daughter?
My youngest, my 7-year-old.
What accident did she have?
She fell from the second floor balcony to down the second floor balcony under the father's watch.
Okay. So let me explain something to you. Children cannot support themselves. And it appears to the court that you're just having children and allowing somebody else to support them. For example, if I were to have a child, I can't say, oh, cute baby, and then put them at Travis Park and say, good luck to you. And that's what you've been doing with all of your children. You haven't raised a single one of them and you haven't been working. So let me just tell you, I'm gonna help you with that. And I don't know why you're getting attitude with me. You haven't raised any of your children. None of your children are with you. You have an 18-year-old, 17. Here's the thing. You have an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 11-year-old, 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 7-year-old, and none of them are with you. You're not raising them. You haven't been working. You just told me in 5 years. You haven't been financially supporting any of them. Now you have a baby on the way. But I'm going to help you with that. So I'm going to sentence her to 4 years deferred adjudication. There's going to be a TAP evaluation in custody. And she's to follow all recommendations of TAP. Other than this felony case, does she have any other felonies?
Not on her, well, pending, Your Honor, or in her record?
on our record.
I believe she has one other felony. on
For
her record.
what?
I'm not,
Unauthorized use of a vehicle.
okay, I know it's a state jail felony, Your Honor. She says unauthorized use.
All right, she's going to do a TAP evaluation in custody. All the recommendations will be followed. If TAP says that she's not to do inpatient treatment before she's released, we're going to come back to court and find out what treatment program she needs to be in with whatever treatment court that's available. You're going to get employment. Proof of it, and I understand if it ends up being a difficult pregnancy, which I hope it will not be,
It already is.
then we will do something about the employment. I know my mom worked until 9 months.
I know she's explained to me she's already a high risk.
All right. There's going to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. And if she can't work, then she'll need to find she need to have a doctor's excuse. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Once she's released, I'm going to want random field visits. 1 time per month until further notice. We're going to do the UA hotline until further notice. 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Make sure that's intensive parenting classes. And once she completes that, the community service hours will be waived. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. She is not allowed to reside in any home with minors. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. How far did you go in school?
I went up to the 10th grade
Why didn't you graduate?
because I was going down the route path.
Okay. And do a gang evaluation on her, please. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, and did you review the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I know you probably say Stephanie Boyd is being hard on me, but somebody needs to be hard on you, because you just can't go through this world having children and wanting somebody else to support them. And that's what's been happening. You can't go through this world and not have employment. The only people who are allowed to not really have employment are eccentric, wealthy people, because they already have the money, but you're going to have to get a job. You can't be finding yourself now. You know the reason why you don't have time to find yourself? Because you have all these children and you continue to have more children. So it's going to have to stop. You understand?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you.